Now, in this section, I want us to look at facts, data, and numbers. And the first one is the number of graduates. I know you've already gone through this, but these are just top universities in Kenya and how many graduates graduate on average every single year. And the reason why I'm bringing this to professionals is, first of all, if you're employed, you should realize that every single year we have thousands of graduates who will be coming to employer targeting your position. These are people who are younger, more energetic, probably. Now, if you're employed, this is something you need to be watching out for. If you are not employed but have graduated, you need to realize that next year there'll be 1,000 more people, probably the similar qualifications that you have, looking for the similar position that you want. So you can imagine the kind of competition that exists. Now, even more importantly is the economic cycle. Because last year, in 2022, we saw inflation. With inflation, what happens is people spend less because things are expensive. When people spend less, we have businesses making lower profits. When businesses make lower profits, they start laying people off, and when they lay people off, unemployment comes in. Now, the issue with this is, if you're employed, you need to realize that the economic state of the country right now will probably affect the company you work for, which means that the minimum will happen for most people is that they'll get pay cuts. In other words, your salaries will be reduced. For those who are not yet employed, you need to realize that the spaces which you're anticipating to have in the economy or in the market are getting fewer and fewer. And so when you look at the Kenya unemployment rate statistics, it is interesting to me because pay attention to this. We do know that the unemployment rate in Kenya is quite high. It was high, went low, rose again. In 2022, it's going to rise because of inflation and the cycle which I've just showed you. But pay attention to this. These are the minimum wage, possibly in Kenya, 15,000 Kenya shillings. So for you who is employed, for you who is not employed, for all professionals, this is a question you need to ask yourself. Even to get a job at times might not be that worth it, because if you add transport, if you add maintenance, housing, rent, food, and all things, very few people can survive on this, unless you're working next door, unless you're working at home and not having to commute or travel a lot. And so these are just things which I'm bringing out to point out the facts, data, and numbers that exist. And the last one, we mentioned it earlier, is technology. Right now we have AI. Let alone it's not just apps and computers and all these things. We have AI which is coming to take over what human beings could do significantly. And for those who are employed, this is something you need to be watching out. Is your job, or at your job, could you be replaced by an AI? For most jobs, definitely yes. For those who are not yet employed, guys, you need to really look at the future and see what are the chances.